Hola, welcome back to Ellas. I'm your host, Brenda Hernandez Jaimes, and you might have noticed something different. This is our first bonus episode, and we changed our podcast cover art. If you're surprised by this, I highly encourage you to follow us on Instagram at ellasthepodcast. That is ELLAS the podcast. Because on Monday, we had announced that we were going to take this big step forward and that we would be releasing a bonus episode along with the launch of our new look, explaining why we made this big step forward. After all, the reason why we created Ellas is to inspire you to continue on your professional path. And I thought it was only right to accompany our logo with this bonus episode. So without further ado, let's begin. I wanted to take this time to reintroduce myself. I know that I shared my background on the first episode and the lessons I learned throughout the first journey of producing Ellas on episode 27. And with this bonus episode, I wanted to just give an update of who is Brenda. And after all, I always start every conversation with that question, who are you? So who is Brenda? Brenda is a 27-year-old Mexican-American woman who is just so in love with what I do. And it's really confusing now that I'm talking to myself in third and first person, right? But yes, I love what I do here on Ellas. And I really have found my life mission, which is to inspire Latinas and really take on any obstacle that they faced and overcome it and live the life they've always envisioned. Obviously, that covers their professional lives and their personal lives. I'm also a professional podcast producer. I produce a top-rated business podcast, and I'm just so happy to really be doing what I love professionally as well. I am really happy that not only do I do it here on Ellas, but I do it as a full-time job, and that is the result of doing Ellas, which I can share in the next couple of episodes because that's a whole big story on it in itself. And you're here to really know why we're rebranding and why we decided to get this new look. But I'm happy that Ellas has ultimately helped me find my life mission, find a job that I'm passionate about, that I'm happy to do. And at the end of the day, these conversations is to do that to you as well. You feel inspired by these success stories of Latinas for you to take on any challenge and just pave the path forward for yourself and for the next generation to come. That's why I do Ellas. With these conversations, I've always wanted to amplify diverse stories, journeys, voices, and faces, and have these real career conversations. No BS. And, just talk about those success stories, talk about those mistakes, the lessons learned, and take that all from these episodes and you apply them into your life and see how you, feeling empowered, can take on that next challenge and live the life that you want. So with this new branding, this new look, you might be questioning, what does the future of Ellas look like now? Our logo is different. Like, is Ellas different? And I had shared with you on episode 27 my goals for Ellas, what I envisioned for Ellas, and that is still the same. That's still intact. This new look is just part of that goal. And you might be saying, Brenda, you didn't share with us on episode 27 that you were going to change the look. No. And I know, I'm so sorry I hadn't shared that with you. But the reason why I hadn't shared that I wanted to change, logo and podcast cover art was because I didn't know who to work with. For my listeners who are entrepreneurs, have their own businesses, or have their side projects, you know that that's your baby. And Ellas is my baby. Ellas is my daughter. I really was not afraid, but I didn't know who to place that trust and if they could put what I envisioned for Ellas on our new logo and podcast cover art. So it was a goal that I hadn't mentioned before. I had talked about it with family and my close friends, but I kept it to myself mostly and researched, silently and, looking here and there. And when I came across Jennifer Zepeda's work, which I also recommend following her at Project Creativa Designs, I knew that there was a reason why I waited, and it was because her work completely matches what I envisioned for Ellas. And as you know, the future of Ellas is to become a media company, so we can continue to amplify these stories, these voices, faces, and journeys of empowering Latinas to you. And that needed to match. The logo needed to match that future and that vision. I wanted a logo to look professional and to match that vision and really match our values and what the work that we were doing. And that takes me to our next topic is, what are we rebranding? And we're rebranding our podcast cover art and logo and brand colors. We're not changing our values. We're not changing our vision. We're not changing our mission and goals. That is still the same. This is, like I said earlier, just strengthening that vision and mission of becoming a media company to amplify these conversations and these voices. So let's start with our logo. So Ellas, oh my gosh, I'm just so in love with our new logo. So as you can see, the L in Ellas has that little loop, and I'm in love. While I was talking with Jen, who I'm so appreciative of working with her because she really took the time to listen to what I wanted, ask me so many questions, and really took to heart, and felt that love that I have for Ellas and everything that I envisioned for, and she created that into our logo, into our podcast cover art. So, with the logo, there's that loop in Ellas, and I love that because that loop in the L means the journey that every Latina guest that has been on here has experienced, has lived through. Life has given you obstacles, struggles, and challenges, but we still overcome them. And we come out so much stronger. And we learn from those experiences. We know what we don't want in life and in our careers and what we deserve and how to go about that to get what we want. And also, it's another example of how maybe we're so intent on a certain path and life is telling us, no, you're meant to do this, you're meant to do that. Like, you're meant to do, for example, for me, you're meant to do Ellas. You're meant to amplify these voices, these stories to inspire your community. And, we may take, a lot of turns and we might go back and etc. But life will always take us to what we're meant to do. So that also is the meaning of that loop in the L. And, once we decided that, yes, this is what we're meant to do, once we overcome those obstacles, our path is set, our path is clear, and we feel fulfilled. Just like I feel every day fulfilled that I'm doing Ellas, that I'm producing Ellas, and that I'm amplifying these conversations. And the third meaning of this loop is paving paths. The work that our guests have done and shared on Ellas is an impact and is paving the path forward for you, for me, and for the next generation. And all of that encapsulates in this loop of the L. And I just love it because it's part of ellas, it's part of you and I, and it's part of the next generation. It's just so beautiful. I'm so happy with the result that it came out. So now let's go with the brand colors of our logo. Now we've changed the color of ellas. It used to be orange and now it's vivid yellow. One of the reasons why I wanted yellow is because yellow radiates happiness. And what I want you to feel when you're listening to these real conversations is to feel happiness. You know, when I have these conversations with these empowering Latinas, I just have a big, goofy smile on my face. I feel so happy to have had these conversations with them. And I'm so happy to have connected with them and to see how they're so passionate about their careers, how they're creating this big impact on their lives, on the lives of their family, their community, myself, you, and the generation that is coming next. And that needed to be important. I wanted the yellow to be part of our logo, part of ellas. So that was changed, and as well as our background color of our logo. It was purple before, and now it's strong blue. And yes, these Latinas that we've been featuring here on ellas, I admire them so much. And in my eyes, they're strong Latinas. They're empowering Latinas that have overcome so much and have demonstrated to themselves and to everyone that their dreams are possible and that what they want is for them and that they're deserving of that life that they've always envisioned for themselves. And that is such a beautiful strength. Like, every time I talk with these ladies, I feel strong. And I want that too for you. You know, not only do I want you to feel happiness, but I want you to feel strength, empowered, that you're going to take on any challenge that comes your way and overcome it. And you're going to learn so much from that and become the woman that you're meant to be. So we also changed our podcast cover art. And with our podcast cover art, you can see that our logo and cover art is integrated. And the background has this vivid yellow, and we changed our avatar as well. And it really incorporates very beautifully our logo with the avatar, which is ellas. You know, the future for ellas is to become a media company. And I really wanted our cover art and logo to match that vision, that future. And with this new podcast cover art, it's just beautiful. You know, the illustrations that surrounds ellas is just the empowerment, that strength, that happiness, and that inspiration that they feel when we're sharing these conversations and when we're listening to these empowering stories. We also had changed, we've also changed our avatar. You know, she is different and is definitely encapsulates what I've envisioned for the future of ellas. What I love about her is her smile. She's smiling, and that also, you know, ties in really well with what I want you to feel every time you listen to these conversations or watch them, is to feel happiness, to feel empowered and motivated to continue on, especially during these times. What we did keep was the orange from our previous podcast, which is also vivid orange. And I love that that's on her lips. She is fearless, wearing a bold orange lip. And she's wearing a black turtleneck, I like to say, a blouse. And that also fits into, I myself, I'm wearing black, but that really fits into also that polished and professional look that I've been envisioning for Ellas, to be this media company and, make it look professional. And I knew that in order to move forward with this vision that I have is to match the style, to match the look, right? And I'm just like looking at this. It's beautiful. Like it's seriously everything that I wanted and more. So, and also to share with you, the reasons why I changed the brand colors was because, ever since the beginning of Ellas, I wanted yellow and blue. Those were colors that are really important to me. They're really important to me. As you know, blue signifies knowledge and yellow, happiness. So there's this phrase that I hear a lot, it's done is better than perfect. And I was just so ready to, I had been putting in these months of pre-production of really establishing what Ellas is, how we were going to produce these episodes, the time commitment and the mission, our values, and really, it also, purchase the equipment that we needed and see where we could record these episodes as well. We put a lot of time and love in the in the pre-production process of it all. And we just needed this to be out there. We needed to start. And the original podcast cover art and logo didn't have the colors we had requested, which was yellow and blue. So when I started working with Jen, that's the first thing that I told her. I want the logo and podcast cover art to have yellow and blue. Ellas is my daughter. I want her with yellow and blue, please. Like this. And she was very accommodating, of course, and really helped me with this whole process. Like I really felt like she was holding my hand, but it wasn't really necessary because she took that fear away and she delivered and more. Like it was what I expected. So yes, that's the reason why we're changing those brand colors. I never had envisioned purple and orange to be part of Ellas, but again, for our listeners who are entrepreneurs and, are starting their business, maybe you just need to start, you need to go and, you're like, I'm just going to do this. Like it's done better than perfect, right? Like at least you have something. And that's how we started with that logo, the first logo. But I also changing our logo and podcast cover art is a commitment to you. You've always been part of our mission, part of our goal is to inspire you and to motivate you and empower you. And I think that's only right. Really have our new logo and podcast cover art match that as well. And now that, we've taken the time to amplify these voices, these stories and journeys, it's time to also amplify the look that we want and envision for Ellas and have it look like we've always wanted. Now we have the time to make it perfect. So really, that's also one of the reasons why we changed the brand colors. And another question that may be going through your mind is, Brenda, did you change Ellas brand values? And no, we have not. As I said earlier, the only thing that we're changing is the logo and podcast cover art and our brand colors. Our values are still the same. We are still here to empower you. We're still here to motivate and inspire you. And to do that is to continue to amplify these diverse journeys, voices, faces, and stories of empowering Latinas. And that also goes with our mission. Our mission is still the same. And that also goes with our mission, is to still share these real conversations of empowering Latinas and that are paving the paths, that are creating an impact in their career to inspire and motivate you to take on any challenge and live the life that you've always dreamed of. And I also wanted to share another decision of changing our cover art and logo. Not only do we want to become a media company, but we also want to strengthen our relationship with you, the connections that we've created throughout this 1 year and 4 months, if I'm not mistaken. Really, with this new look, because it fits, our values, our mission, our goals, and the future that we want for Ellas, I know that strengthening our relationship, our connection with you will be possible. So since it's also the middle of 2020, I want to share with you that yes, this is our goal. Our goal is to become a media company, and with our new logo and podcast cover art, that is solidifying our vision, our future. And it also motivates us to start branching out and finding ways to provide content and to provide real conversations. So I'm just going to leave it at that. We are planning new ways to connect with you and to strengthen our relationships with you and to motivate and inspire you. So the thing that I will say is that, be expecting new things. We will obviously still have, this podcast will still be here. Don't worry. Podcast is our number one medium. I love it. I think it's a great medium to amplify these strong voices of Latinas. So don't worry. But, this year we started our video conversation. So maybe we could also grow that along with our podcast, or maybe a blog, or, I'm just going to leave it at that. But yes, be expecting more things. And I hope you enjoyed this bonus episode. I hope you're just as excited as I am about this new chapter, about taking the step with us and accompanying us on this journey of making Ellas a media company, of making this a reality. Because at the end of the day, as I've always said, Ellas is for you, to motivate and inspire you and empower you. And that's what I want with these conversations, to have you feel that and to feel happiness. So definitely this new look matches that. And I'm just happy, and I feel like I'm rambling now, but thank you. I really want to thank you for being with us and showing your support on Instagram. We've been posting, we've been sharing, and every comment, every message that you send, I read, and I just end with a big smile on my face, this big goofy smile. And it really warms my heart because I put a lot of love and passion into this, and a lot of my time, and to see your comments and to see that Ellas is impacting you in that way, it just makes my day, and it makes me know that we are completing our mission, but that we still need to go forward. We still need to do more for you. So thank you again, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed this, and that you also feel inspired. Maybe you have a logo that is done being done, and that you want it to be perfect. Well, I encourage you to take that big step, because your company, your project, your business deserves it. You deserve it. So don't worry. Tomorrow we're going to have a new episode with an amazing Latina, another real career conversation. And make sure to follow us on Instagram at Ellas the Podcast. That is ELLAS the Podcast. Follow me at BREN_JAI. Or you can leave us an email. Maybe you want to be a guest here. Maybe you want to share your thoughts on Ellas. Maybe you want to share the love that we have for our podcast cover art and logo. And send us an email at ellasthepodcast@gmail.com. And if you like, you can also leave a review. And the 5-star review, tell us what you think. It really does help us reach more Latinas that need these inspiring and motivating conversations. So thank you. Thank you again. And I hope you're having an excellent day. And I'll see you tomorrow with another conversation. Adios.